In this video, we're going to be working on muzzle up presentations, also known as high port presentation. So as you can see here, it's high in port. So it's it's more catered towards CQB, and it is controversial for some, but the global war on terrorism has been an excellent teacher that most of the people that are, always muzzled down are kind of, the safety freaks that never really left the flat range, and it is what it is. But so with that said, I will use muzzle up in areas like when you're coming around a corner and you need to compress, but you still want your muzzle accessible as a striking implement, or bringing it down quickly to be able to fire. I still have the ability to have shells ejecting, or cartridges ejecting from here, from this nice compressed area, so it doesn't stick out all that much. I have control of my muzzle and where it's pointed. That's not something you really have the luxury of when you're in the low ready, especially in a stack and you're handicapped and possibly snagging on things. So with that said, muzzle up, I do appreciate it, but that's not really the point of this video, just inserting my own little opinion. But anyways, the principle here is to have it high and tucked, and when you have your muzzle up, make sure that it's superimposed, so wherever your eyes go, your muzzle goes. So it'll be superimposed, it'll be just like a ghost, so you're kind of seeing through it. It's not really blocking my vision. I can still see you through this thing no matter what eye it is. If you have two eyes, you'll be able to see it, and it'll just be superimposed even though it's close, especially because it's close, right? So anyways, the basic drill that we're going to be working on here is extending and shouldering. So during the extension, we are going to take the safety off, whether you have an AR or an AUG or Tavor, whatever it is. So you're going to extend out like you have a bayonet on it, and then you're going to shoulder it and aim in. Now this isn't going to require you to dry fire, but I do have a snap cap in, and I did go ahead and pull the trigger, and that's just to protect the firing pin, because I dry fire this thing so much, so every chance I get, I'm putting a snap cap in this thing. But anyways, you can practice pulling the trigger if you want to. You're going to have to add a little more of a delay time to be able to reset your rifle if you want to pull the trigger, but it's not really necessary for this drill. You're just acquiring the sights and getting it steady on target within the allotted time. And this is actually a pretty slow time. So you're going from this position to this, back and forth pretty quickly. So relatively quickly. This is actually quite slow for me, but for this drill, for this specific occasion, 1.5 second part time, and I have that set up on my dry fire par timer. So I also have a reset or a delay time, as it says on the app, of 2 seconds. So that gives me enough time to put the safety back on and then get back into a nice high port position. And you want to pick a small target on the wall, but obviously make sure your gun's empty or whatever. You're still responsible, right? So responsible dry fire training. So anyways, then we're going to do 20 reps here, or I'll demonstrate 20 reps, so it should go by pretty quickly, but I recommend 5 to 10 sets of these 20 reps in order to get good procedural memory. Go smooth. Don't go slow. I know the whole saying is slow is smooth, smooth is fast, but that slow part, that's BS. Smooth is fast. So go as fast as you can do it properly and develop a good procedural memory. Don't put on the accelerator until you're so comfortable that it's ridiculously boring. And I use the word ridiculously as an adage to that with intent. So it's got to be ridiculously boring. So with that said, I'll go ahead and start my little timer, but you can see here, for 20 reps, that's a minute, a little over a minute. So I'll go ahead and start this here, and I'll have 2 seconds. So it's pretty slow. Can be a workout though. For those of you who aren't accustomed to this and just going back and forth like this can be quite a workout. might give you respect for, you know, handling any real weapon this, you know, low weight, high rep exercise. So that's pretty much it. Pretty simple, and you know, I can do 5 to 10 sets of this. I mean, I think the slowest I would actually feel comfortable with going is like 1.15 seconds or a 1.25 or whatever, but that just seemed ridiculously slow to where it was so slow for me that it basically had no value at all. So so yeah, I would have to actually take that down a bit. But for most of you beginning, that might be a little too fast if you haven't developed a good procedural memory. There is use in using muzzle up, especially in close quarters, and you know, I do recommend you guys use it. But you know, train often, train safely, be nice to your guns, and put snap caps in there. But anyways, let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I'll see you guys around. You guys have a good one.